The North Carolina Tar Heels check in at number 21 in the recently released AP College Football Preseason Poll. We'll talk about that and the rest of the top 25 in this one. Let's go. Huddle up.
You don't want none! You don't want none!
Ready, break! What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It's your guy, Russ, and in this episode, we're going to talk about the recently released AP Top 25 College Football Poll, where, spoiler alert, the North Carolina Tar Heels check in at number 21. But before we get into that, first, what y'all think about my new jersey, man? I think this thing is super clean. Number 26 had to go with the Giovanni Bernard, right? I'm from Fayetteville. It's called the 2-6. I thought it was appropriate. I love this stinking thing. But anyway, before we get into the North Carolina Tar Heels number 21 ranking, let's go through the top 25 and see if there are any surprises, if you will. And no surprise here, starting off with number 1, the two-time defending national champions, the Georgia Bulldogs. I don't think anybody is surprised by that one. They're followed by Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, and LSU to round out the top 25. Now, I'm a little surprised that LSU is ahead of USC. They seem to be ahead of USC in just about every poll that I've seen. But I really do like Caleb Williams and the USC Trojans. Obviously, he won the Heisman Trophy and the Maxwell Trophy last year. I think he's the second best quarterback in the nation behind Drake May, obviously. And I really think that USC probably deserves to be that number 5 team. But 1 through 5, you got Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, LSU. And then 6 through 10, we have the aforementioned USC Trojans coming in at number 6. They're going to be followed by Penn State, Florida State, Clemson, and Michael Penix and the Washington Huskies. Now, it's kind of interesting here because ACC Media Day, the ACC says that Clemson, they picked them to win the ACC championship game again against Florida State. But it seems like a lot of people are on this Florida State train, and I would like to caution them because we can all remember 2021 when North Carolina, they had Sam Howell, Heisman Trophy aspirations. You had national title implications, if you will, coming into the season. I'm just saying we're a dark horse. Nobody can say that that's not what people were talking about. And then we went into Blacksburg and lost 17-10, and we were not able to recover. And Florida State has a similar game. They play LSU to start the season. And, that can do a lot to change the trajectory of where you're headed, whether you start 1-0 or whether you start 0-1. North Carolina started 0-1, and guess what? They finished that regular season 6-6. They ended up playing South Carolina in the Belk Bowl, which they could care less about after starting the season number 10 in the nation, and it showed because South Carolina smashed them because they cared, and you could tell that Carolina didn't care. But I digress. So, 11 through 15, you got the Texas Longhorns coming in at number 11, followed by Tennessee, Notre Dame, Utah, and Oregon. Now, as much as it pains me to say, the Tennessee Volunteers are definitely a team to keep your eye on. They have a lot of talent up and down that roster. They really do seem to be on the upward trajectory, and I think that that's going to be a good football team that could make another splash this year. Then you have the Oregon Ducks, who come in at number 15, rounding out the top 15. And this is a team that I don't care what you say, North Carolina should have beat them in the Holiday Bowl last year. And I hear all these people saying that they didn't care until the end of the game. That is ridiculous. Once again, North Carolina couldn't finish a game when we're talking about that last 4-game losing streak, and it continued into the Holiday Bowl. We were the better team for 3.5 quarters. We had the better athletes, It's another game that North Carolina fell short of expectations, even though Oregon was ranked and North Carolina wasn't. Then you have Kansas State, who had one of the more surprising years of last year, if you will. Probably the most surprising year behind for sure Texas Christian, who went to the national championship game and just got smashed by Georgia 65-7. But Kansas State had a really good team last year, really good campaign last year, and they come in at number 16. And they're followed by Texas Christian, Oregon State, Wisconsin, and Oklahoma. So Oregon State recently brought in DJU, as most of you know, who's a transfer quarterback from the Clemson Tigers. And I'm not a big DJU fan. If they think that that's what's going to stink and put them over the hill, if you will, I think they got another thing coming, because if DJU stays in the ACC championship game, North Carolina Tar Heels are the 2022 ACC champions. I was at that game. I saw how it started. DJU can't throw a stinking football into an ocean. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. And it wasn't like it was just a one-off game. That's just how he played throughout the stinking year. So then we get into the superheroes, the Mighty Heels of North Carolina, checking in at number 21. And if you watched my video on the coaches poll when it was actually released, I think that this is a wonderful position for North Carolina to be in. Coaches poll, they're coming in at number 20. AP poll, they come in at number 21. Not too hot, not too cold, not too big of a head, but at the same time, it shows that the media, the coaches, the fans, they all have confidence in this team. And a lot of people are calling this the Drake May rating, if you will. It's absolutely ridiculous. This team has got 4- and 5-star talent all the way up and down the roster. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you, man, as a North Carolina Tar Heel fan, somebody that has followed this team for the better half of 2.5, 3 decades, this is the year where it's time to put up or shut up. We keep talking about what we could be, the sleeping giant. This is the year. You have arguably the best quarterback in the nation. You have 4- and 5-stars scattered throughout your roster, okay? This is the year where we have to win 10, 11, 12, 13 games. If it doesn't happen this year, I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't know if it can stink and happen. But you got to show me, guys. You've got to show me. We want to go to the promised land. That's what we were told when Mac Brown came back, that he was going to take us there. This is the year. We got to put up or shut up, guys. I'll be the first one to stink and tell you that. So, following the North Carolina Tar Heels, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Tulane, and Iowa rounding out the top 25. Now, I'm a little surprised that the South Carolina Gamecocks did not make the top 25. They did check in at number 27, but this is a good football team. I think Spencer Rattler is a serviceable quarterback. I think he's a little bit overrated. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But they do have Juice Wells, and they do have a really good secondary coming back. And, College Game Day being in Charlotte, 7:30 Bank of America, national television. I'm really surprised that team did not crack the top 25. So one of the things that you're definitely going to be able to say is that Shane Beamer and the Gamecocks are going to have a chip on their shoulder come week 1. And North Carolina is going to have a fight on their stinking hands. I like where the Heels start off the season, if you will. And I really do believe that if we beat South Carolina, we beat App State, we beat Minnesota, and then we handle business at Pittsburgh in that first ACC game, I'm telling you right now, this could be a season to remember. Now, a lot hinges on the South Carolina game. Is it the end of the world if we don't win that game? No, it's not. Because we also seen in 2015 where we ran the table basically until the ACC championship game, and that was a real fun season as well. But if we can handle business against the Gamecocks like we should, notice I said like we should, trust me, as a Tar Heel fan, as far as football is concerned, we are so used to being set up for disappointment. I mean, it's just the cold, hard facts. But if we can handle business like we should, like the coaches and the media believe that we should, it could set up for just a season to remember. So we'll stink and have to wait and see, guys. It's going to be exciting. Only 2 weeks and some change, baby. North Carolina, South Carolina, Bank of America Stadium, College Game Day, 7:30, national audience. It doesn't get much better than that. So, hey, if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to this content, hit that notification bell that's going to let you know every time that I make a video about our North Carolina Tar Heels. And we got about 2 weeks, baby, and we're going to see how good these Tar Heels are. We'll catch you on the next one, Tar Heel Nation.